Get ready to get sticky. Sticky Situations is sponsored by Corona Crush. Corona Crush is creating Jewish couples always. Join the Facebook group. Just search Corona Crush and look out for virtual speed dating events happening every other week. They're 100% free and 100% Jewish. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sticky Situations. I'm your host, Rachel, which obviously you already know because I'm unforgettable. Whatever platform you're listening on right now, if you are not already subscribed or following, go press that follow or subscribe button. Go leave us a 5-star rating and a glowing review. Nice reviews only, please. Go follow Sticky Situations Pod on Instagram. Follow Sticky Situations Pod on TikTok. Join our Loop group. If you would like to be a guest on my podcast, I need more guests. If you want this podcast to keep going, I need more guests. It probably is, I'm going to run out soon and I'm getting tired of recruiting people. So please step forward. This might be your last opportunity or some of your last opportunity. There are applications in all of my Corona Crush posts. And you can also send me an email at stickysituationspod@gmail.com or send me a DM at stickysituationspod on Instagram. Same goes for if you would like to date any of my single guests. Someone sounds interesting to you, I can't guarantee anything, but I can always try. Again, send me a DM on Instagram at stickysituationspod or send me an email at stickysituationspod@gmail.com. Okay, everybody, I have an extra special guest today, so let's get into the episode. Please welcome my friend Dave. Dave, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, how's it going, Rachel? Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
Dave, before we get into your stories and the episode, can you tell me and my listeners just some basic facts about yourself, your age, location, relationship status, and religious denomination?
Sure. I am 24, based in Far Rockaway, New York, and I would describe myself as the best terms I've heard, I would say modern yeshivish, or recently I actually heard a good one, Torah Focused Working. How's that?
That's very specific, but I like it. Good
Yeah, I think
definitions.
I think I like toe the line between like classic yeshivish, but like more modern yeshivish. So, but I'm not like YU type. So somewhere in that in between.
Okay. And relationship status?
Single.
Okay, so ladies, if you are, what was the definition again? Torah minded working?
That's good. I said Torah focused working, but I think same
Oh,
difference.
Torah focused working.
Same difference.
And Dave sounds like a good match. Please reach out. Okay, so Dave, should we can okay, my question before we start are most since I ask all of these like identifying questions so my listeners and myself so we can get a an idea of your dating pool and like who you're dating. So and how you're dating. So would you say cuz I haven't had so many people on who are more right wing, I think that's always a struggle and I love talking to people who are. Do you think you date more like in the Shidduch system or you have other means of like meeting people?
It's a good question. I would say I'm probably like very 50-50 at this point. So I would say like half of the girls I've gone out with, not that I have a massive pool of experiences, but half of the girls I've gone out with have been more in like the quote unquote shidduch system through shotguns and random people setting me up. And the other half would be people I've met or from my circles or, introductions from friends, stuff like that. So it's pretty split down the line, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Should we get into a story?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So the story that came to mind, again, not probably not even close to as good of a story as some of the ones I've heard in your previous podcast, but I would say it was like right before the summer, probably like June. I was dating someone and we were on, it must have been an early date, like a second or third date, or it probably wasn't first. It was like a second or third date. And I took her to Coney Island. We were like just on the boardwalk. I think we got lunch or food. And afterwards we were on the boardwalk and we were heading back to my car after, a little bit of a walk. And this real like New York City crackhead, it was actually a girl. New York City crackhead was like approaching us and walking to us. And didn't think much of it. Born and raised in New York, so had my fair share of crackhead run-ins. Wasn't that big of a deal. But At some point I realized this one was different, and I don't know what happened, like what triggered it. But she was like lighting something up, and she saw we were like looking or eyeing her down. Like I don't know why. I don't know if it was me or the my date. I'm not exactly sure, but something definitely triggered her. And she literally like started screaming crazy things, which I'm not allowed to repeat here. And eventually, like things just escalated, and she just kicked my car like really hard. It was like so random and so crazy, and it was one of like I just didn't know what to do. It was like one of those early dates, and it was like, just kind of like trying to break into things and whatnot. And I totally glitched. It was just such a weird,
Oh
weird,
my God.
random experience. But yeah, thank God nothing else happened. We got into the car. She like kicked it, and that was it. I bugged out a little bit and, and drove off.
So she kicked it when you were already in the car?
Yeah, so it was like literally as we were getting in, she was like talking smack, and then as we closed it, she's like, blah blah blah, F you, and kicked it.
Oh my gosh. And she walked away afterwards, though.
Thank God, because yeah, I don't know what I would have done. Obviously, as a true masculine man, we always prepare for these situations and would like to think that we would, take action, but I totally froze up like a little girl.
I think that's better. I feel like if I were on a date, I would rather the guy like stay calm, not like try to fight a crackhead.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, I mean, at some point you probably would want someone to step in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if the crackhead was like trying to like attack me, then yes, I want him to defend my honor, and defend me. And yeah,
Right.
but
Yeah. Thank God it didn't get to that stage.
no,
Things
that's
didn't escalate that far.
and no damage to your car, right?
Ooh, good question. I think I have a dent in that spot already. So the only thing that could have happened is the dents could have gotten slightly bigger. But I think the car survived. Still drives.
Okay. That's the important part. And then was there, so did she say, did the girl you were with say something when it
Yeah,
happened?
yeah, yeah. It happened to have been great like dating content. Like it's no better way to break the ice than someone kicking your car or like a true New York City crackhead experience. I don't remember what it was, but we definitely were like both turned to each other and like, what the heck just happened? And it all just happened like so quickly. It was like, what even just happened? Like, why did that just happen? It was very random. But yeah, it was definitely a good icebreaker.
So did you guys go on another date after that?
I don't remember if it was the last one or the second to last one. I don't remember. I think it was the last one. So
But
no.
not because of the
Oh
crackhead.
no, not because of that. No, no, no. It was like I said, it was a good icebreaker. It was good content, honestly, for a date. It was just out of nowhere, super random. Like you don't plan for these things.
No, that's like so random and weird. I feel like I'm trying to think if I've had similar because like New York City is, I haven't had it on a date, but I was with a guy. We were just friends. He maybe was in love with me, but that's neither here nor there. I had gone with him to his work holiday party as his date because I think he had like asked another friend and the other friend like couldn't go. So he was saying how he was like going alone. And I was like, I'll be your date. You want some arm candy? Like he worked for like a fancy company. I'm like, take me. So I went with him to his holiday party and we were coming back on the subway. And I don't think I've told this story on the podcast before. I can't remember. So listeners, if I have, forgive me. And it was late. I was hoping he would order an Uber home and expense it, but no such luck. So we were taking the subway, but and truthfully, like if anyone was gonna beat anyone up of if we were attacked, it probably would have been me being the protector. But but again, neither here nor there. And we were walking through the subway station, and all of a sudden I just like smell something disgusting. Like not even regular homeless person smell. There was a homeless person covered in their own fecal matter. And then they started chasing us through the subway station. Luckily, they either stopped chasing us at some point or we like got to the turnstile and like went through. And yeah, that was like kind of scary actually.
Gee, what time of day was it? Was it like
It was
night?
nighttime. It was kind of
Right,
late.
right after the party. Jeez, that's so
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know if he could have beat him up for me.
Yeah, I feel like even if it like would have happened with my friends, it like would have been just another New York City experience. Like I don't even remember, but I'm sure like somewhat similar things have happened with my friends. But just having that whole experience in like in the context of a date was like, whoa.
Yeah, it throws you
I just totally
off.
glitched out.
It throws you off. Like when something, I feel like as a woman, if something like that happens, it's not as bad of a look if I freak out. But like, I feel like, do you feel like guys have the pressure to like keep it cool when like weird things happen on dates?
Um, for sure. I mean, I think like obviously after this experience, it kind of led me to realize like all these things kind of help. Like you want that like the informality of things happening outside, which is like this is why I like going to I don't know places on a date, going to places where like there's other people, there's things happening, there's you see people. It's just because you know you want something to talk about other than like the pressing, serious questions that perhaps come up on a date. I think it kind of makes it fun, breaks the ice, for lack of a better term. But definitely, I don't know. I guess to an extent, there's try to have fun with it. But to an extent, I guess I feel personally, I can't speak for other people, but I guess I feel that somewhat of that pressure. I think I'm naturally also more of like a chill person, just kind of take everything in stride. So I don't know, I probably do that more naturally.
Okay, that's a good quality. I'm a natural freaker outer, so
It sometimes it gets too much. Definitely can use a little bit more, freaking out sometimes. But yeah, overall, I'll take it.
no, I think it's good, and at least in a dating context, to not freak out. Just like stay cool and calm.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm talking a big game here. I have my fair share of dating freakouts. But yeah,
Okay. Do you want to tell another story?
do you want to tell another story? I have one story. We'll see where it goes.
Okay.
Let's see how much I could share. So one more story was my friend got married to this girl and went through the wedding, whatever. My friend's dad calls, he's like a crazy guy. He's a lot of fun. And he's very eccentric and all over the place. And when he has a vision, it goes through. So he's just that type of guy. He gets it done. So he called me after the wedding and he's like, Dave, I really think you should go out with your friend's, his son's sister-in-law. And I said, like, what? Totally like not it, whatever. But like I said, he's like persistent. He probably called me initially, like said this idea, like at the engagement party or like at some point before the wedding, and he's just like crazy persistent throughout. At some point, he like just to get him off my back, like he's video calling me and like calling me and like harassing me. At some point, I just said, "All right, I'll go on a date. You pay for it." Like just like like just get this guy away. Like I thought he was gonna say no. He's like why would he pay like what? And he's like, "You know what? Deal." So I made sure to run it by the girl first. I said, "Listen, I don't think this is a thing, but this guy wants it. He's gonna get it done. Let's do it. Let's swipe this guy's credit card." And we did. We had a great time. We went out for like a crazy steak dinner on a first date.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah.
Did you have to like run where you were going by the guy first?
I think he gave me a budget. I probably went over the budget. I think
Wow.
that was like the deal. I think it was like a $400. I said something crazy. Like we negotiated. There was negotiations,
Oh my
and I went for
gosh.
like every last dollar. He was determined. I told you. He's just that type of guy that gets his way one way or the other.
A $400 budget?
It's a good first date now.
I've never been on a 400. I don't even know if I've been on a $400 date ever. Like
I
ever.
mean, truth of the matter is there's like at this point there's just not many kosher if you're doing like a dinner like steakhouse date, there's not many kosher restaurants where you can for two people get like much lower than that. It's pretty wild.
Where are you going?
Kosher steakhouse for two
Okay,
people?
like yeah, but nobody who's going to a steakhouse on a
No,
first
I'm
date?
not talking a first date. First date, yeah, that's crazy. I'm talking like a later date. Like you can't if you're going out, 400's crazy. but it's not that much less.
I think it depends. Like, okay, where are you going? Like reserve cut?
Let's say.
Okay, reserve cut, fine. I can see how
Where
that could be
where
four
else is
hundred
cheaper?
dollars.
Where's a steakhouse that's cheaper than Reserve Cut?
Reserve cut is like the most expensive one. I'd be happy with the La Marais $40 steak salad and
Oh yeah,
fries.
Llama Ray $40 steak is probably the best thing in the
It's the
entire
best
city.
thing in New York City. When
Yeah.
I was in when I was in college, is like when I moved to New York, the La Marais deal was $25.
Oh man.
Yeah,
What is it now? I think it's
like
up to like 50,
40.
55,
Oh, it's 55? I think last
40.
time I went, I think it was like 40 or 45.
Yeah, that thing is so good. I love
But
that.
even if it's $50 for steak salad and fries, like,
Oh, sign
and
me up.
yeah, and it's like it's decent. I'm not a steak connoisseur, but like I think it's a thin steak, but it's a decent steak. The fries and salad are always good.
Listen, for $50, you can't go wrong. It's yeah, it's I love that place. I love La Marie.
Yeah, I do too. I'm trying to think, but like I don't get taken to these fancy places on dates.
Oh, yeah, I would
I'm trying
never.
to think like dinner, like if I get taken out to dinner, it's like maybe Mr. Broadway, Mocha Burger, like those types of places.
Makes sense. Right. I guess that's like the tier under. So I'm thinking like steakhouse, like later date. I guess like I don't know, at some point like let's say 7 or 8, right? You're going to like a nice steakhouse. Is it going to be under 250, $300?
Um, I don't know. I'm not the one paying.
Fair.
But no, like I'm trying to think. I've never been on that many dates with someone unless they were my boyfriend.
hmm
So, like I guess one of my ex-boyfriends took me out for like a really fancy dinner for my birthday one year. That was probably a lot. I
Yeah,
could see
kosher
how
ain't
that.
cheap,
Yeah, I could see how that was probably close to
but we had a good time there.
400.
We were both, at least I think, both on the same page and just like let's maximize this night and just spend as much money as possible, at least within the budget given. And I think we did an incredible job. And then
But there was,
I did get a parking ticket, which kind of
oh
ruined
no.
the whole night, but it's still
You
a good
should have
deal.
you should have told him. Maybe he would have
I should
paid
have.
for it. So there was no second date though.
No, there was no second date.
Oh man. That would have been like a great story though if it had worked
No,
out. Been like, "Oh
I
yeah, I
know.
didn't think it was a thing. This guy paid $400 for my date and now we're married."
It would have. It would have. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good night and still a good story.
No, that is a good story. Well, I was about to say I wish someone would pay for me to go on my dates, but I don't pay for dates.
At what point would you say, or at least in your circles, it's probably different in my circles, but at what point would you say is like a normal time, like a normal date where it's like you offer to split it? Just
Um,
curious.
that's a good question. I think it's a case by case like basis. Again, I've never been on more than like probably 3 dates with someone who I didn't like get into a relationship with. So I think once you're in a relationship, definitely. But I think if there's multiple parts to a date, like let's say you like multiple unplanned parts. Like let's say you go out for the first part of the planned date, but you want to keep like spending time together. So like you go to a second place. Like you go out to dinner and then it's like, oh, do you want to go grab a drink somewhere after? Or ice cream or something. I think for that second thing, if it wasn't planned, I would offer. Um,
That makes sense.
but
Interesting.
I don't know, maybe after a third date.
That makes sense. Interesting. Cool to hear people's perspective.
I don't know. I was like kind of spoiled in one of my relationships. He like never let me pay for anything, even when I offered. Um, but it also depends on the person's circumstance. Although now that I'm older, I'm not dating guys in circumstances that can afford to go on dates.
Heck yeah, as
Because
you
like if you
should.
if you can't afford to go out on a date with me, and like, I'm not saying this to sound like a brat or anything, I'm not going on $400 dates. Like, I'm talking about like buying one drink or buying a moderately priced dinner or buying ice cream or something like that. Like, if you can't afford that, then we're not going to work out because like
That
we're not financially aligned.
how old are you, if you don't mind me
I
asking?
am 32.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. A little bit of a different bracket, and that I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, like I've
I feel
been
like a guy who's in that age bracket and not on that page is probably
yeah,
concerned.
cuz like if you're telling me that you can't pay for dinner, then how are we going to buy a house? How are we going to send our kids to Jewish day school? Like, I have a good job, but like I'm not supporting the family alone. Like,
Yeah.
it's 2025. You need two incomes.
No, yeah, totally that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever been out with a girl who offers to pay?
Um no, I haven't. But I think also it's probably different in the circles. I don't actually know what the official rule is. There's in the circles
Official rule.
in the shidduch dating, there's a lot of like quote unquote official rules. Yeah. Like after a certain date, you're supposed to ask the girl for her number. After there's
Wait. Oh, so you date like real shotgun, like the shotgun sets the place and time and does all the communication?
no, somewhere in between the communication. Well, again, 50-50. So I've gone out with girls where I've asked them out, went up to them, asked them for their number, and then I've also gone out within the system. And within the system, yeah, the circles I'm in, it's at least for me, I can tell you my experience.
Yeah, I want to
Um,
hear it.
so yeah, the shotgun does the communication. There's no like texting between me and the date. And then there's like I can't say I don't even know them. Like I just kind of do my thing, but there's definitely like set I don't they're not rules, but like expected things. Like after fourth date is when you ask the girl for her number. After
Whoa.
yeah, yeah.
That's
It's
like
such a
that's
real thing. I
that's
think it's
so
fourth.
many.
I think it's fourth. Well, think about it. If you it's not so crazy when you break it down because for the first date, you literally never met this person. You don't know anything about this person. Like
Yeah.
that's it. So first date is just awkward. Second date, you kind of fill it out, test it out. Third date, I would say, in my experience, at least in within this, is like when you really like start to like build that chemistry. So fourth date's not that early, not that late. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't that's just crazy. I mean, I would say I end most things before it gets past a third.
Well, there's also there is another element to the system, I would say, where,
Hmm.
and I'm really not an expert in this, but there's another element to the system, I would say, where there's a tremendous amount of research being done prior to, even going out on these first or two dates. So there's just
Yeah.
a crazy vetting process being done. Not crazy. There's a vetting process being done where more or less anyone you're going out on a date with is you're somewhat aligned in terms of religiously where you're at, your values, what you want, what you're looking for. So it's I would say a lot of that gets weeded out. But yeah, there's definitely, I mean, most girls I've went out with, it was like one or two dates, and it's like this is just not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah. So do you do the vetting yourself? Like, I'm assuming when you say vetting, like I know the resumes and everything, like and references. Do you like are you like calling the references
Hell no, thank
yourself?
God. Thank God not. My mom does that for me. That's just standard in the quote
Yeah.
unquote system in the process. I would not be able to get that done.
Is it weird having your mom so involved in your dating life then?
Good question. I wouldn't say weird. I kind of it leads to, in my experience, it leads to the way I view it. There's pros and cons. It definitely leads to much more of like intentful dating is the way I like to describe it. So it's just
Yeah.
very, very marriage focused, which also has got its cons in and of itself. But that's one thing. I would say the problem that I find is, like I said before, just there's just such a lack of chemistry to start like a first dates in the system. I personally find to be just brutal. It's daunting. You're literally
Yeah.
just, I mean, think about like just being placed in the car with some random stranger, let alone there's someone of the opposite gender, and you're like you have all these things you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to, what you're supposed to do, things you can say, things you can say. It's very inauthentic and very like the best description I've heard for it is sterile. I think like it's just very like
Yeah.
there's no like it's not it's just awkward as opposed to when I've been on dates outside of the system. It felt much more natural. There's much more built up chemistry even before the first date. You're texting back and forth, and it's a lot more fun a first date. But yeah, there's pros and cons. Having my mom involved specifically, I would say
Yeah.
I personally don't mind it. I see why some people would. For me, it's just easier, one less decision to make. I mean, obviously, I'm making the decision as to like who I go out with. My mom's never gonna say go out with this person, and it's up to me. But it's just, I guess, makes it easier in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I don't know. I think when I first started dating, I would tell my mom I was going out on dates and stuff like that. But again, not in this. I've talked to shotguns before. I've definitely not in the system. I also don't really believe in the system or in shotguns in general. But
Why not?
um, I think everyone's lost the plot. And
What do you mean by
maybe in the more yeshivish world, it's different, but like in the modern world, I think everyone has lost the plot. Everyone's just trying to make money. And I don't think anyone has like the single people's best interest in mind. Like all of these matchmakers and shadchans, they're charging exorbitant fees to meet with you even. I don't know if you have this in first of all as a guy because I know they charge women. I don't know if they charge men to meet with them, but I just think that it used to be something like setting people up is inherently it's like it's a mitzvah and you're doing that to do something good. But I don't think a lot of these people who are doing it are trying to do something good. I think they're just trying to make a dollar.
Yeah, I would. It's interesting. I haven't definitely wouldn't share that experience. In my experience, where I've seen it is that just a lot of the shadchanim are just out. I don't want to accuse anyone or point fingers or be mean, but I don't mean to be too harsh, I guess. But
Hmm.
they feel out of touch. Like a lot of the shadchanim are older women,
Yeah,
who just I think don't understand. They don't pick up on the social nuances of people my age, our age. I've found it a lot more just quote unquote on point, like just girls that were a lot more my type. I've been set up with from through like friends or at least quote unquote shadchanim, but at least shadchanim that knew me from outside the context of just going to them to get set up, if that
yeah,
makes sense. In terms of like the money aspect, yeah, it's definitely a little weird. I do think that the girls, the way I don't know exactly how it works, honestly, but in terms of like money, I know I've personally never met a shotgun where I've had to pay.
yeah,
I also haven't really met that many shotguns, but yeah, I definitely hear where it can get your point, just to where it like it can, I guess that's a good way to say it, is losing the plot a little bit. It becomes like a business that loses its beauty, loses its touch, so to speak.
yeah,
I personally have not experienced that though.
yeah. I mean, I think also you might be in a little bit of a different world,
Hmm.
um, in terms of like more to the right. And
Yeah.
also, I feel like guys have very different experience. I also think that you say that these shotguns, they're out of touch. Like, I definitely think they're out of touch, but I feel like they live in an old school mentality that is only hurting the single world, like the dating world.
What do you mean and what do you mean by that?
Like, I don't know. I think you could disagree with me because you're a guy. I think they only consider what guys want. They don't give
Oh,
guys
interesting.
the reality checks that they need. And they like enable like delusional ideas from guys that are just very harmful to the whole dating system.
Yeah, that could be. What would you say is like an example of a idea that gets propelled by Shidduch?
I think again, and it might not be propelled, but I think it's just enabled. Like the concept of these guys who just, and I hope my listeners forgive me. I know I talk about this a lot, but I like hearing what different people think about my own perspectives. I think that they just enable delusions of guys. Like I think a lot of these guys, and you're still young, you're very young, so maybe you don't see it as much, but definitely for guys who are older, guys, I feel like they think they are entitled to a wife no matter what. And you and listen, I am a modern woman. I'm in my 30s. I've done the work on myself. I work very hard. I have a very nice life for myself. A lot of women are in my position. We're independent. We do a lot for ourselves. All of the people we surround ourselves with are great. And a lot of these guys are still very mediocre. And yet these shadchans are pushing women to go out with these mediocre guys. And again, you take a guy, you're just enabling his delusion. Like as a guy is getting closer to 40, these shadchans are still allowing him to think that a guy approaching 40 doesn't have a great job, doesn't take care of himself, isn't a catch, like just mediocre in general. They're still enabling him with the delusion that he's going to end up with a woman who's in her early 30s, who's beautiful, who is smart, who has a good job when he doesn't have any of that. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. We're definitely going to talk about this on the next episode because I do have a ShadCon coming on. But
Oh, cool.
I'm in this group and usually I just lurk. I'm in a couple of these WhatsApp groups and I usually just lurk. Um, I never like get involved in discussion or conversation, but there was a discussion of this guy. This guy was posted by a shadchan and someone called out that they had met the guy and he was actually 10 years older than he was saying on his profile.
Oh, that's like taking the whole 5'9" height thing to a whole new level.
Yeah.
That's not just adding an inch.
No, he was adding 10 years or taking off 10 years. And he was already old. He was already like in his 40s and really he's like 55. And he and there was a whole discussion around whether it's okay to lie about your age. And this is when I chimed in because I was like, it's absolutely unacceptable to lie. Like in your dating profile, it's unacceptable to lie because if you're going to lie about something as obvious as your age, what else are you going to lie about? Like your age is pretty obvious. You can look up records. Your height is also something very dumb to lie about because I can immediately tell if you're not as tall as you say you are. Actually, okay. Um I know I've like referenced this story, but I don't know if I ended up telling it. I went out with this guy over the summer and I already didn't really want to go out with him. He was like a little bit above my age range and I don't know why I said yes. I think when I got the suggestion, I was like with a group of friends and they're like, "Rachel, just go out with him. Like, you never know. Just give it a chance." They like kind of pressured me into doing it. At the time, I was 31, which doesn't make a difference because would still not date this age. He, on his profile, had said he was 39. Like, I'm too young to date a 39-year-old. Like, I'm 32. That's
What's
basically
the
in my,
highest you would go?
um,
The
I
oldest, I
don't
should say.
know. I don't know. Right now, 35, 36. But I don't like older guys. Like, I guess you could call me as bad as a guy because I don't truthfully, I like dating guys around my own age. I find I get along with them better. Like you're in a general same place in life and grew up in the same like you can relate to each other in all
For sure.
capacities. I date younger guys, not like so much younger. I definitely like I talked to some 25-year-olds over like the last few months and I was like, "No, this is like really young. Like I can't do this." But like I would go
Shots
out with a
fired.
like I would go out with no, 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 no. They're great, but it's just like one of them was like, "Let's go out at 9 p.m. for a drink." And I was like, "No. I'm 32 or
I
31.
hear that.
I just turned 32." So I'm like, no, I'm in my 30s. I'm not meeting you at 9 o'clock. Like, not on it was on a weeknight, not a Saturday night. But like, or just like maturity level things, or like I talked to this one guy, I think he was 26, but like he was still in school and he's like telling me all this stuff, living at home. I was like, so do you know how to do laundry? Do you know how to cook? Like, I'm not trying to acquire a child before I even get birth. Like, um, but whatever. I am open to younger, but it has to be like the right place in life. Like
For sure.
there is a stage where it's like, okay, this is too young. We're just like in two different stages of life. It's nothing bad about them. Like they just have more maturing to do. I do find though, if I'm gonna go younger or older, and I mean like more than like 2 to 3 years um of my own age, like up or down, I would rather go younger than older because I find that younger guys have a better energy to them. And a lot of these guys who are older are just like so set in their ways. They're so like burnt out from dating that they don't really try. And
Interesting.
I find that guys who are a little younger put in more effort, especially like I've talked to guys who are like, "Oh, yeah, I have to impress like an older woman." Again, not that much younger even, but I don't
It's
know. Like
interesting.
if I had my choice between a 37-year-old and a 27-year-old, I would go 27.
What would you say is like in your circles? Because I know this probably is different in my circles, just because people get married younger.
Yeah.
What would you say is like the normal, I guess, age to get married, and like what's like the bracket where most people are age-wise in like your pool of people that you're dating, people
I
that you would.
mean, most of my friends are already married. I think most of my friends got married in their mid to late 20s.
Interesting.
I would say. I mean, I have friends who got married at 23, 24, but I would say the majority of my friends got married between 26 to 30.
Interesting.
But again, like I have friends, like I live in a singles community where when one friend gets married, you just make new friends. Like your friends get married and leave you, so then you make new friends.
That's cool. You get a, I feel like you get a stage of life that people that get married don't get to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes and no. It's like I don't know. Sometimes, like, I had a friend who my, all of my best friends are married, like my life friends. Like, when I talk about, like, oh, you just replace friends, like, okay, those are like my social friends that I made, like, in my 20s and 30s. But like my lifelong friends are all married, or for the most part, all married. So I don't know. I was talking to two of my married friends, and one of them was saying, like, she wasn't like making digs, but she kept like saying things that it's like, ugh, Rachel, never have kids, never do this, never do that. And I was like, I don't think you understand. Like, I have problems too, and I would trade my problems with you any day. Like, I get it. Your toddler is like crazy and you're exhausted, but like, I'm exhausted from this like stupid drama that I have to deal with so I can have friends, so I have people to do stuff with. Like, it's
The
it's not
grass
the
is
same.
the grass is yeah. I mean the
The
grass
grass
is
isn't
always greener
greener.
on the other side. Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, what I would give to have somebody share my rent with me, like, and all my bills, like,
I think something that I heard, which is so cool, I think it was something along the lines of everyone's biggest problem, no matter how small it is to you, is still their biggest problem.
yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's a cool concept. But yeah, it's probably also hard having like just friends at least I'm like starting to see it. Like the first of my friends are just now starting to have like their first kid. And it's just like a totally different mindset. And it's so hard to be in touch with them and like stay in touch. Like
Yeah.
I guess the stupidest example is what you said before. Like I'm still going out at 9 o'clock on weeknights and they're just like totally not having it. Like, nah, we I got a toddler that's waking up tomorrow at 7 a.m. I am not going out right now.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of keep in touch.
Yeah, and like I guess like my life looks very different than their. I mean, again, I go to bed at a reasonable hour. I still go to work. I come home. I am an adult. I do adult things, but it is like, oh, okay, like what am I doing for Shabbos this week? I have Shabbos plans every week that are like different. It's not just like, oh, making Shabbos dinner for me and my family. It's like, oh, what friend am I going to? Am I hosting? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Or like travel plans. Like if I want to travel somewhere, am I going solo? Do I have friends to travel with? Like it's like a constant
Yeah,
question mark a little bit.
interesting.
But
Yeah. I feel like you gotta be I'm just now starting to see how intentful you gotta be with like my friends that get married. You
yeah.
lose touch very quickly. You gotta be really intentful with like keeping up with them.
Yeah.
Just because yeah, they get busy.
Yeah. And again, we're all busy. Like I wouldn't say my friends who are married with kids are more busy than I am on any given day. Like I am busy too. We all have things, but I don't even remember how we got here. How I think you were saying because I get to experience this stage of life that like if I was married I wouldn't get to experience, which is true. And like you have to appreciate everyone has to appreciate where they are in life and what they do get to experience. Like I am very grateful. I've had like a lot of cool opportunities to do things that I wouldn't have had if I got married at 26 and had 3 kids by now.
Yeah. I think it's my friend always tells me this. He says it's just very important to be present and focus on this stage, not just being a catapult or a hallway to the next stage. It's like you got to be very in the moment and enjoying it. Obviously, working to getting married and something bigger. I think we all
Yeah.
want that. But not like it shouldn't be your whole life. Like
Yeah.
like I have friends who just their whole life. It's probably much more prevalent and much more common in the right wing circles. But like their just whole life is dating. Like they're just doing quote unquote nothing, just dating. And I think it's like what like no, it's you gotta enjoy the moment. Obviously, stay focused on the bigger picture and getting married, but still enjoying the stage that you're at and making the most of it.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's um let's take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsor and we will be right back. Sticky Situations is sponsored by Corona Crush. Are you tired of swiping on dating apps? Tired of guessing whether the cute guy or girl you keep seeing around is Jewish and or single? Then you need to run, not walk to join Corona Crush. Corona Crush is a Jewish organization working to create Jewish couples always. Corona Crush has over 30 confirmed engagements, over 22,000 members from all over the world, and has set up over 50,000 speed dates. Join the Corona Crush Facebook group and post yourself or have a friend post you and see who reaches out. Fill out the survey to sign up for virtual speed dating events happening every other week. Corona Crush is 100% free and 100% Jewish. Worst case, you end up with some stories of your own. Best case, you find the love of your life. Try it out today. Here on Sticky Situations, we tend to focus on bad dating stories, but sometimes dates do go well and lead to proposals and weddings. Who would have thought? And what do all of those require, you might be asking? Well, the answer is flowers. Who doesn't want flowers from someone they've been seeing? Don't forget, flower petals and bouquets needed for proposals. And that's even before all the flowers that go into weddings. Sticky Situations is sponsored by Primrose Flower Shop. In my opinion, Primrose is the coolest flower shop around and has the best customer service to fulfill all of your floral needs. Primrose offers a range of services from your basic bouquets to subscription services where you can get flowers delivered once a week. They deliver all over the tri state area, including Manhattan. Primrose does weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, and other simchas. I've personally been to a wedding where Primrose did the flowers, and the work they did was beyond gorgeous. Primrose additionally offers in store proposals, including a romantic setup with candles and music. Primrose is located at 2922 Avenue M in Brooklyn, and the phone number is 929 376 9815. You can also follow Primrose on Instagram at PrimroseNY. So, if you can't get someone out of your head, buy them some flowers from Primrose. They'll either love it or they'll find you really creepy. But regardless, the flowers will be out of this world. Okay, we're back, everyone. Wait, I have a question based off of what you said about your friends making dating their whole life. In your circles, is it common? Are you only going out with one person at a time, or is it common to like be going on dates with multiple people at the same time.
Oh no, that's like for sure a big no-no.
Okay.
What where it comes in though is I think a lot of so it's very common for people in my more extended circles. I wouldn't say like my close friends, but like definitely people I grew up with, where in their first year, I would depends on the person, but like year to 3 years of being married, they actually go to Israel for like 1 to 3 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
some of my friends work there, but most are like full-time learning, studying like the entire day for the first year of marriage, which is cool. Separate conversation in and of itself. I mean, where I see like kind of this happening on what I was referring to is a lot of these people, they come back from being in yeshiva in Israel and they literally come back to date with the intent of going to Israel in the first 1 to 3 years of marriage. And they're in just a weird spot because they are kind of finished or just not consistent about going to yeshiva and they don't like they're not starting to work. Some of them like maybe go to college and whatnot, but they're not starting to work. And it's just this like they get stuck in this waiting ground of like waiting to get married and go off to back to Israel, which kind of leads them down that path of like, yeah, they're just like their whole life just becomes dating it, which is I guess okay for like a year or two. But, again, the Shidduch system is very efficient for many people. So like I would say a good portion of my friends got married within the first 1 to 3 years of them being in the system. But obviously it doesn't work for everyone. And not everyone has the same success. And I see it just in my friends struggling now. They're 3, 4 years back from yeshiva in Israel, waiting to get married so they can go back for their first 3 years of marriage, and they're literally just waiting, like they're just in this holding stage. Um, so yeah,
That's
that's
hard.
kind of what I was referring to. But yeah, definitely to your question specifically, huge no-no to be dating. Like again, I think it's very and I think there is cons to this. I don't think it's all glitz and glamour, but it's very intentful dating. So it's really cool because again, it's efficient for most people, and a lot of people get married and it works. But it's like going out with multiple people at once would probably not fit that model or goal.
Yeah. No, I agree. I also try and I know it's more common in my circles to do that. I really try not to. I I will say like I am not always the best about it because sometimes when it rains it pours and it's like, okay, I don't know any of these guys. I don't know, they could all be duds, or like why should I give up an opportunity to meet someone just because like I might be going out with someone else. Like, and again, I'm not saying like if I'm already like dating someone, I would do that, but like let's say you're in the talking stage with a few different people. It's like, what if this is going to end up in a date anyways? Like, I don't know. I could be texting with five guys and I might not
Right.
go out with any of them.
Right. So yeah, I think again, I guess what I was trying to say is, and I think you just kind of hit that home, which is like being in the structure of a quote unquote system. Again, keep
Yeah.
saying this has its cons. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's all good, but it's really cool in a sense that it's like everyone's very much on the same page. Like, okay, we're going out on our first date, and there's clear intent here. We both want the same things. There was some level of research done. We're both like very specific about what we're going for and what we want. There if there is, it's very limited, and there tends to be no talking, quote unquote, talking stage. It's
Yeah.
much more like we're dating.
And in a way that's better. Like, there's nothing I hate more than like texting with a guy endlessly and not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think it's just to communicate. Yeah, I think this aspect of it for sure. It's much better communication in terms of just everyone being on the exact same page and very clear.
Yeah. So I know you said that you sometimes will ask out um girls in person. Do you ever do like any of the dating apps or anything, or that's like a no-no?
I've explored. Most people in my circles are not on it. I'm just an adventurous person, so like I'll try everything. I've made profiles in the past. I actually did. That's a lie. I did meet someone once on one of them, which was an interesting experience. We actually did date for a few weeks. It was a little bit of time,
Oh
uh,
wow.
but it was more during my fun era, less intentful dating era. I would say. Most people in my circles are not, tend not to be on those apps
So are you now at a place where you think you're trying to be more intentional about dating?
for sure. And not just because my mother might listen to this. I really mean that.
Do you think your mom's gonna listen?
I'll send this to her. Yeah, I think she'll enjoy
Okay.
it.
Well, shout out to your mom.
Shout out to the mom.
Dave, do you have any other stories you want to share?
I think that's about it. I think I'm out of stories. There probably is some that are not coming to mind, but I think that those were the two that came to mind.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I feel like I have more questions because I don't get so many people who come on who like strictly date like in the Shidduch system or like even in the more right-wing Shidduch system. So it's interesting for me to hear,
Yeah,
but
it's honestly not as scary as it sounds.
yeah.
I think it's
No, honestly, there is, like you keep saying, there is some element of it that sounds nice. It's like, you're not going out with a serial killer. Like, you're aligned on the basics already. And really, like, you're going out to see if there's chemistry and to see if, like, it would actually work. There's none of the other hurdles to go through.
yeah. I think what I said before is a good. There's just very there's a much better level of clear communication as to like what the goal is, what yeah, I guess what the goal is. It's just everyone's much more on the same page.
Yeah. In your circles, like, what are the because, okay, so you were saying how some of your friends, they come back from Israel, they date, and then some of them go to college, some of them get jobs, but like most of them are just like going back to Israel. What's the expectation like in of you and like in your circle when it comes to like a career? Like, are you expected to just learn all day? Are you
No,
expected to have a
even to
career?
yeah, for sure. Even to people that from my experience, even to people that are going to Israel, they come back after 2, 3 years, and in my immediate circles, more or less everyone is uh, getting a job or expected to at least expected to get a job. Um, it's pretty common. I would say college wise, it's actually interesting. I think like 50% of my friends just didn't go to college, but I never went to college. But we were still definitely expected to be working and live up to, or at least make enough money or try and make enough money to live up to the firm lifestyle, which, like you said before, is
It's
not
hard.
easy.
Yeah. I don't know if it's better or worse, like in the more from circles.
From what I know, it's probably about the same, probably different things, but I think, I don't know. It's probably some things more, some things less, and I would imagine that it balances to about the same thing. It's just not cheap to be Jewish.
No, not at all. Do the women in your circles work?
Good question.
Like the women that you're going out with?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for sure. The people I'm going out with for sure. I would say most of them, yeah, do, but I would say that's it seems to me, I don't know, but it seems to me that that's definitely changed over the last like decade or two. Meaning like my friends' mothers, many of them, like a large portion of them, if not majority, don't work. But I guess probably due to the rising cost of living, it's definitely changing. Like almost, I think every single girl I've gone out with had a career.
yeah, it's all really interesting. But yeah, it's expensive. I mean, it's expensive to be alive in 2025, but like it's definitely expensive to be a Jew in 2025,
Yes.
an Orthodox Jew.
Yes.
With all the kosher food and living in the religious neighborhoods and Jewish day school.
Yeah.
So it's definitely challenging.
I'm actually curious about what you said. Is the cost of living higher or lower in the modern Orthodox world compared to the more right-wing circles?
Um,
What do you think?
I think it's probably about the same. I think houses are about the same because I think Orthodox communities are generally in like
Super.
bigger cities
Yeah.
and more expensive areas.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if tuition is less or more. I'm not really sure
That's
how that
probably the big
works.
one. That's probably the biggest difference one way or the other. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Meaning everything else is
If
probably
there
more or
was a
less.
difference, I would say it would maybe be tuition,
Yeah.
but everything else is probably I mean we eat
Yep.
the same kosher food, like we yeah, we live in this not the same neighborhoods, but in comparable neighborhoods.
Yep.
So, I mean, maybe like in the more Orthodox circles, they need bigger houses if they have more kids, but I don't know. I feel like it's expensive everywhere. But in modern Orthodox circles, they have a lot of kids too sometimes. So,
That's a good point, actually. I would say the other differences that come to mind is that, like you said, the family size, although it's probably not as like I don't know, it's probably pretty close. But also just like weddings. I'm curious if the like bar mitzvahs, weddings, all those things cost more, and because that's definitely a major expense, at least in
yeah.
the circles. I'm curious if
Um,
that
I
costs
think it's
more.
more expensive. Well, it depends where you have it. Like, you could do like a Takata wedding in Lakewood or Brooklyn, and that's an all-in set price. That's a fraction of what you're going to pay if you like rent out one of like the fancy halls. I only started researching about weddings only when like one of my friends got married and told us how much their wedding costs. And now I like think about it. It's like, oh, okay.
Do modern Orthodox people do their weddings in like those types of halls?
In like Takana halls
Yeah.
sometimes, but not I don't think I've been to many. I've been to a few.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Like I've been to weddings that had to have cost in the six figures.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's probably more related to the person than to their circles.
Yeah. It is interesting. Like I never even thought about this until like a couple years ago when one of my friends was telling us about wedding costs and everything, and I was like, whoa. Because also, like, I'm also not from New York, so I don't know how these things work. And when my brother got married, he didn't get married in New York, and they had various things. I still don't know how much my parents paid. I have a rough estimate, but yeah, no, it's insane. I was
Yeah.
talking to my boss about this because I don't know, one of my coworkers is getting married, and he's having a destination wedding, and it's only like close family and friends. And I was like, yeah, that wouldn't fly in the Orthodox Jewish world. I was like, the last wedding I went to, well, no, the last wedding I went to now, I think there were like 250 people. But like the wedding before that, I think it was like 400 something
It's
people.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Like, and I'm sure in the more yeshivish circles, like wedding, I think one of my friends had her husband's family is more yeshivish, so their wedding was like more yeshivish, and I think the hall had a minimum of like 300 or 400 people. Like that was
Whoa,
their like minimum.
that's crazy. Yeah, I would say it's pro overall it's probably just related more to the person than to the
Yeah,
circles that they're in.
no, 100%. And you know what? Any wedding is going to be a nice wedding usually, as long as it's fun
Exactly.
and it's not too hard to get to from the city. Any wedding that I go to.
Yeah, the Lakewood weddings could be tough, at least for me. They're
Yeah,
so far.
I haven't had a Lakewood wedding in a while, but those are always complicated to get to.
Yeah, they're so far. You have
Yeah.
to really like the person to commit to that.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of these weddings. But I went to one. It was close. It actually like it was an easy Uber ride because none of us have cars. Like I
Oh,
live in the city. Most of us don't have cars.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm a
But yeah.
spoiled Long Island boy. I couldn't go far without my car.
But yeah, I had a wedding earlier this year in Passaic. Getting there and back was not I had to nicely ask someone to drive me home, and they were very willing and nice to drive me home and claimed that it was on their way, but I don't know if it actually was. And getting there, I like had a whole roundabout way of like trying to get to my friend in New Jersey from work and
Oh,
meeting her
geez.
on the
Yeah.
side of the road somewhere.
I can't even imagine not having a car. I don't know how I don't know how people do it. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So, with dating, since you drive, like, are you dating girls like all over the New York area, or
More or less, yeah. Um,
like, do you have to drive to Lakewood to pick a girl up for a date?
no, thank God not yet. That would be just a nightmare.
It's far.
Yeah, it comes out to like 2 hours each way.
Wow.
It better be a good one if I'm going that far.
Yeah. And it's in your world. It's not even like you can talk before to make sure.
Right. Yeah, there's just no kind yeah, you're again, it's just the downside I would say of the system a little bit where you're just you just gotta jump into it and build it like kind of artificially build that chemistry, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It works out.
Yeah. I mean, it works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you think you're gonna meet your wife through the system?
Oh, I wish I was able to tell the future. I don't know. I don't know. I tried to be very open-minded in terms of like really not um like creating these rules in my head of like how it will turn out or even like subscribing to a certain way. I think in terms of like where I am religiously and just socially, I think I'm pretty open-minded. So I just kind of go with the flow. Like I said, I'm adventurous, so I like trying new things, like trying the apps, like seeing what happens and jumping in. Try not to keep, s- try to do whatever follow whatever opportunities I get, I guess.
It's smart. Being open-minded is a good way to be. Knowing
Yeah.
what you want, but still being open-minded, I think is the best way anyone could be.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know how it's all going to turn out. There's especially listening to the few episodes of your podcast, you
Yeah.
never know where the opportunities can come from. So you just gotta
Yeah.
go at it
Exactly.
with an open mind.
Exactly. Okay, Dave. Let's go to the wrap-up segment. Can you give, I know we've been talking and everything throughout the episode, but can you give me and my listeners one piece of dating advice?
Oh, good one. I heard one recently, more about life, but I think it relates to dating, which is you just got to be unrealistically forgiving to yourself. I mean, I think that concept has helped me. It's just like understanding that, you're going to get rejected. Things are going to be awkward. You're going to say stupid things, all these things, and you just got to like suck it up, so to speak, and move on and just come to expect it. And I think that realization of like letting go a little bit and not trying to be the perfect dater was really helpful. Like it's just like, yeah, we messed up, we're gonna mess up again, and just moving on and kind of rolling with the punches. I would say that's probably my best advice.
No, it's good advice. And last but not least, do you have your tagline?
My tagline is I saw this like 2 days ago and I absolutely love it. And it actually relates to one of the stories you said, which is like the age story, which is honesty isn't risky, it's a shortcut to the right person.
I like
Can't
that.
say, yeah, I can't say I came up with it. I saw it, but it's so good,
No, that's so good. I
right?
don't know. Like, if you lie, your lie will catch up to you.
Exactly.
Like, being honest, like, if someone doesn't like you because you're honest, that's fine. They don't like you for you. At least, like, you're being authentic and you're being yourself.
Yeah, also, I tend to think that people see through dishonesty, like more than we all can imagine. Like the
Yeah.
lies tend not to hold up.
Yeah. And also, I don't know, if someone were to lie to me about something, even if it was unimportant, I am, I might not be bothered by what they were lying about, but now I'm bothered that they lied.
Yeah, that's a good
Like,
call.
oh, I never actually told the story I was going to tell earlier, but what I was going to say is the guy lied about his height. He said he was 5'6". I'm 5'2". He, there was no way he was taller than me.
That's crazy.
And like, height doesn't bother me.
So
Like,
you had
height,
someone that lied about their age and height.
Yeah, well, the guy on the group, well, actually, this guy did lie about his age, but I think he just like didn't update his profile because we were on the date. His profile said he was 39. We were on the date, and then he's like, "Yeah, I turned 40 a few months ago." I was like, "Sir, I did not sign up
That's
to
a
go
year,
out
but
with a
before you said someone was like
40-year-old."
10 years off or
Oh
something.
yeah, yeah. I didn't go out with
That's
them.
crazy.
But in the group I was in,
Oh yeah,
yeah, they
yeah, yeah.
lied about, and then people were defending it. It's like they're like, "Oh, but the rabbis would say that's okay." Like, okay, well, that's a bad rabbi. Rabbis also defend get refusers.
That's just crazy.
Like that's nuts. Yeah, no, being honest is like the most important thing you can do
I think so. I think it's everything, not just in dating and
in
business,
life. Yeah.
relationships. It's yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty crucial.
Yeah. I 100% agree. Dave, this was so much fun. Thank you
Yes,
so much for coming on.
thanks for having me.
Of
Interesting
course.
conversation. Cool to learn about the more left-wing circles, I guess is how you would say it, right? Left wing.
Yeah, more modern.
More modern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
No, it's sorry if I like um threw so many questions at you. And like I find it fascinating.
I think
And
it's
it,
always cool to hear other people's perspective.
yeah, and that's why I do this podcast, which is another plug for guests to come on the podcast. I want to hear all of your perspectives. I love hearing it. It's cool to me. I've been doing this podcast for almost 3.5 years, and like I've learned so much about other people, about other people's perspectives, even like about myself and how to like better myself in my own dating and communication. And it's great. It's a great experience. So another plug to come be a guest on the podcast.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you continue. I think it's like I said, I told you before we hopped on, and just how there's definitely a space for it. I think it's interesting. I think not enough people just talk about the experiences of dating, kind of talk it out. It's like there's just not I would guess the awareness is the right word. There's not enough aware. Like nobody told me what to do. I'm just kind of supposed to figure it out on the fly. So definitely
Yeah.
think having these channels and content is super helpful.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. And again, I want to hear from you guys if you want this to continue. So please come be a guest.
Guys, come on.
Yeah. Okay, Dave, thank you again so much. And Sticky Situation Nation, you'll catch me next time. Bye, everybody.